Dear lovers of beautiful cars, today we'll talk about Ferrari accepting cryptocurrencies as payments for their cars. You heard it correctly, Ferrari really announced that they will be accepting digital currencies like Bitcoin and Ether to buy their high-end vehicles, also in Europe now. In general, it's a trend, however. It's a trend that originally started with BMW at that time. They already allowed cryptocurrency payments prior in some parts of the United States. Also, there are other companies like crypto exchange that already sold, for example, Bugattis with Bitcoin. And also there's a company from Texas called Post Motors that already sold Bentleys and Rolls-Royce with also Bitcoin and Ether since already 2018. So how does this work? How can you buy a Ferrari with cryptocurrencies? Well, first, of course, Ferrari in this case needs to set up the infrastructure. They need to set up a payment processing system, a system that makes it possible to handle crypto transactions and convert it into fiat if desired. Next, of course, the customer needs to look for a car. And once he picks a car he likes, the price should also be displayed in cryptocurrencies. But not only in cryptocurrencies, of course, it also should be possible to buy with fiat currencies. And what is also important is that the price must be updated in real time, as the price of Bitcoin can go up and down. And of course, this changes the amount of Bitcoin required to buy a Ferrari. Once the customer finds a Ferrari he likes, he has to scan, likely a QR code, to send the cryptocurrencies from his wallet to the wallet of the dealership of Ferrari. This is typically done through a secure crypto transfer app, which makes it possible to securely send cryptocurrencies. Once this is completed, he needs to confirm the transaction over the blockchain, as this is very important to provide accuracy and also confirm the purchase. And once the purchase is done, Ferrari needs to fill out the required papers that prove that their customer is now the new owner of the car. And while this is very straightforward, there are a bunch of benefits that come with this, as otherwise Ferrari would not be interested in this, as there are a lot of benefits that come with this technology. First, of course, they did it because of market demand. They did it because of market demand as more customers are starting to be involved in the digital financial asset space. More customers that also have a lot of money are invested into, for example, Bitcoin, Ether, or made substantial amount of money as the price of Bitcoin and Ether has risen over the last years. So this is a gesture for them, and it was actually due to the demand of the customers that they also did it in Europe. As first they tested in the United States and it was successful. And there are a couple of other reasons, as market demand is not the only one. Ferrari also wants to profit from the technology. They want to profit from the technology as while they satisfy the customer needs, they also have benefits. For example, the money that they receive is a lot faster on their accounts, as it's a completely different technology. With blockchain technology, transactions are done within a couple hours. And this means that the money will be received, will be on the account of the dealership within a couple hours. And this is a lot different from the traditional financial system, where it takes a couple days, really, sometimes even longer, for a transaction to be received. And this can also be another problem, which leads me to my next point. If a customer is, for example, from a country that has a different currency, there could be traditionally problems, as first he has to transfer the money from, for example, dollar to euros to buy then the Bugatti in euros. And this is can already cost some money. And this is really unnecessary. As with Bitcoin, you can pay the same price. It gives more access from global investors, from people from all around the globe to buy their assets. Also, in general, the transaction costs are smaller. The transaction costs are smaller because in the case of blockchain technology, there is no one really behind it, which means there is no bank that needs to process the transaction. It goes peer-to-peer. It goes some code, and that's basically it. And a consensus mechanism is responsible for the balances on the accounts. So this makes it a lot more easier. And this, of course, is great for both sides, for Ferrari, but also for the consumer, as they have to spend less on the transaction. On the other side, while there are a couple of benefits, there are also some risks that come with it. First, of course, is market volatility. Market volatility is unfortunately still a problem, as the price of Bitcoin is changing, which of course could mean it go up and down. And it also changed the amounts of, for example, Bitcoins required. As if Bitcoin is really having a bad month and you buy with potentially more Bitcoins and the price goes up later, you wasted some money. As simple as that. However, it's still an evolving technology, so it's not really surprising in this case. And there is still some regulatory unclarity, which is my next point. There is still some regulatory unclarity. However, if you watched my previous videos, there are already some politicians that want to help Bitcoin technology and in general the crypto industry. They want to have clear regulations. On the other side, what I think is the biggest problem is that there is not enough consumer protection, which means that if you send the money to the wrong address, it's irretrievable. If you, for example, copy the wallet address and you mistype one of the letters and you send it to a completely different one, you cannot undo a transaction. This is not possible, as there is no bank or something behind it. So of course this could still be a problem. However, I think if you scan a QR code, this will not be the case, as I'm typically not a fan of writing the wallet address by hand. So this is a way of actually not falling for a trap like this. So in conclusion, I think it's a very interesting idea. I think it's an interesting idea that allows the technology to be really implemented correctly, as it's very good that people, and in general, also looking on the other side, that Ferrari in this case, they have lower transaction fees and they can also receive the money a lot faster. It doesn't take days, sometimes weeks before they receive the money. It goes a lot faster. It goes a lot cheaper. And also it makes it more comfortable for people from all around the world. And while I think, in my opinion, consumer protection is the biggest problem of all, I think you can avoid it. I think you can avoid it if you scan a QR code and you double check it. So of course, there are still some things that need to be worked out on. Also on the regulatory side, as there are still some questions regarding the usage of Bitcoin and also the custody. So we have to see what the politicians will do. I recently uploaded some videos about it, so make sure to check those videos out, as there might be the case that the crypto regulations might be a lot more clearer in the future. In general, I have to say, I think this trend will also likely continue. I think the trend will likely continue and it will cover more luxury brands. Those are, in my opinion, the right companies for this technology. As I think for smaller brands, when the sun is not so much, I don't think you need to buy, for example, a shampoo for $5 worth of Bitcoin. I don't think this is very beneficial. I think it goes rather on the larger scale case where you really have to pay a lot of money. Let's say in the Ferrari case, you pay 300,000. So with that being said, let me know what you will do. I personally have to say I will buy my next Ferrari with Bitcoin. That's it for today. Make sure to check out my previous videos. I will see you in the next video.